Lafayette himself. Miss Arlene, Carrie Preston. And his first time at Comic-Con, Chris Bauer, Andy Belfour. And the now Buddhist Sarah Newland, Anna Camp. Executive producer Brian Buckner.
Ruined the show so much.
Pam, Kristen. Rutina Wesley. I love that jacket. Sam Merlot, Sam Trammell. Mr. Bill Compton, Stephen Moyer. And the lady who without the show wouldn't exist, Suki Stackhouse, Anna Paquin. Okay. This is crazy. Well, you guys, let's go back. Since this is, maybe one of the last times you'll all be together on stage. What do you all remember from shooting the pilot? Like, did you immediately think this is something special? Did you think, like, I can't believe this, I don't know if it's gonna go? What did you guys think? What are your memories of that pilot?
Can everybody remember something? There was that little lot. I just remember that the sweet life of Zach and Cody was shooting right next door. And we had all these naked, bloody people walking around.
What about the rest of you guys? Do you have any memories? Anna, Steven? No?
Yeah, but somebody else go first.
Okay.
I remember Merlot's.
Yeah.
One of the only sets that was actually built at the time was his bar. And I remember walking around and looking at every single detail, every beautiful little kind of, there's loads of posters that you won't have seen of the Louisiana peach competition, peach eating competition, or best peach in Louisiana, peach festival. And all of these little posters that were brought in by Ron and Suzuki and Kislev, and just thinking, wow, this is amazing. The world that they're setting up.
Yeah, they literally have like cards for carpenters and plumbers from Louisiana, like real people like that on the back of the bar. It's really detailed. It's pretty amazing.
Rutina, do you have any memories? I love when Tara yells at that lady in the store. That's like my favorite.
I think that's one of my favorite scenes of the whole series. I remember from me just being terrified because it was my first job, almost my first job out of school, and I was like, oh my God, just please don't fire me, please don't fire me. But I remember just having a lot of fun, learning a lot really quickly.
Yeah.
And all these guys, of course, were so welcoming, so it was a lot of fun.
And now, son, Lafayette was supposed to die originally, and I guess Steven told me a story that I think you were like with Alan, you guys were like, we can't kill this guy off, like he's too good.
Well,
I'm glad he kept me with a job. It's funny because what I remember most is I was like, do my shirts have to be this tight? Jesus, okay.
Do you guys guys have, like, over the course, I mean, over 7 years now, do you guys have favorite sort of like, what the moments, like sort of favorite? I mean, I always think about the meat tree. I love the meat tree. I think the meat tree is just, I like the idea of it. But like, Steven, like, do you like the Lorena sex where you're...
I'm just going to go back to something, because you just made me think of it, Nelson. There was a moment in the pilot that we talked about before, Tim. There was a moment in the pilot where Nelson is cooking grits or something, was it, Nelson? What were you cooking?
I think I was cooking burgers.
When you started humping the thing.
And he starts basically doing this.
Oh, 6 gears. That was my 6 gears.
What was it?
That was my 6 gears.
Yeah, that's right.
6 years.
And at which point he turns around and says, everybody loved the pussy. John, even you scared of the pussy, right? And there was this guy, this extra that was there just for the day that was Big John as he became known. And because of that moment when Nelson turned around and said, even Big John was scared of the pussy. Even at that moment, Big John has been in every single one of our episodes ever since. Because of him. Because of Nelson.
Brian, there's been a lot more flashbacks, I think, this season, especially with Bill and Pam and Eric. Is that a conscious decision to sort of show, I mean, do you guys want to sort of bring things full circle? Because it sort of started with, you know, Bill and sort of the Civil War stuff.
Well, with Bill, you know, we got a character who we turned into a vampire god, and he wasn't that nice. He was a vampire god, so honestly the thinking there was, as Bill tries to find his way back to himself, let's give him a little help by flashing back to his human life. And that's kind of the case across the board with a lot of the flashbacks. To give a little bit more context, you know, how Pam and Eric came to Shreveport in the first place, you know, just filling in holes that were out there and learning something else about these characters that we've already spent a lot of episodes with. So yeah, and for sure conscious. But we've always done flashbacks. There's just some purpose to them,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I love my favorite flashback so far this year was the fact that Pam and Eric owned a video store franchise. Who came up with it? Like, where did that come from? Was that your idea? I mean, how did that even come to be?
We wanted to do a flashback to how they came to Shreveport. There was, we're like, it needs to be the worst punishment imaginable, like the worst punishment imaginable. And it was one of our writers, Craig Chester, who actually said a video store. And yeah, so that's how we came to that.
And Kristen, this must have been so fun to shoot. I mean, like the 80s clothes. I mean, I know you love your costumes, you know, as Pam, but those were like another level, I think. Was that a blast to shoot?
Yeah, the 80s was another level, and it was really fun to go back there and have even more hair. And it really is so brilliant that we end up in this fluorescently lit video store. And then also that the throne, which Alex and I had been imagining he was carrying around since his Viking days and treasuring, but it was his father's.
Yeah.
You know, it was found by Ginger in an alley. It was amazing to see Ginger, how we met her, and the transformation, and Alex kind of, you know, the slow-mo walk, where he was dressed basically as Jason Priestley, when Ginger perceives him, gives up her college career. Alex sort of did the slow-mo walk. He didn't have to, but he kind of actually impersonated it. It was an amazing day.
Yeah. And you were telling me earlier, you sort of want, there's a piece of of Fantasia you specifically want to take. Can you explain what that piece you'd like to keep?
Well, you know, it was in my last day in Fantasia. I think I was the only one who realized it, and then it was the end of a long day, and everybody was busy and trying to get out of there, and I was kind of trying to stay out of the way, but take a moment. Steven, it's happening. He's counting how many times today. And 96. And I really was too overwhelmed because I'm thinking, do I want to cherish that weird little ancient white skeleton tchotchke for the rest of my life? I don't know what I want. I took nothing. And then I realized that there's 3 paintings. So it's our executive producer, Greg Feinberg, is a vampire, Clint is a vampire, and Bush is a vampire. I'm good with either, but after this last episode, Republican, I think it should be Bush.
I love that, I love that. I mean, speaking of last days, so you guys have wrapped, you're done. What were your individual last days like? I mean, it must have been just so surreal because it's been 7 years, it's been a huge journey. I mean, so many life changes.